Hey, welcome back to the Lotz Real Estate Group. I'm Chris. Thanks for tuning in to another YouTube video. We're going to dive into the 2024 best townships to live in here in Livingston County. We help people like you every single day buy and sell in this community. And what we're trying to accomplish is give as much information as possible to make confident, informed decisions about moving to this community. So let's dive into it. Disclaimer, a lot of these townships are very similar in terms of taxes, location, school districts. Livingston County as a whole, compared to the state, we are always in the top 90th percentile when it comes to schools. There are other schools that are more desirable than others. Brighton versus Heartland, Brighton versus Howell, Heartland versus Pinckney, so on and so forth. And everyone's gonna have their different take on what they're looking for when it comes to school districts. And a lot of this ranking is really gonna be on that. How schools are ranked from the state, locations to amenities in certain major metro markets, and then also proximity to downtown communities. And again, there's gonna be those pros and cons from Brighton versus Howell downtown communities. But for the most part, according to niche.com, I think that's the metrics that they're taking into play. School district rankings and then location rankings. So let's get into it. Number one does not come at a surprise, Brighton Township. Brighton Township is located northeast of downtown Brighton. The bulk of that Brighton Township is going to be on the east side of 23, the north side of 96. That's where we lived. We lived off of Spencer and Pleasant Valley Road. And why did we live there? Great taxes. And then you're still in a phenomenal school district. And arguably, it's one of the best locations. I already dove into the crossroads, but a lot of that bulk of that community is going to be the northeast portion of 23 and 96. So from a convenience standpoint, you're quick north, you're quick south, you're quick east, and you're quick west. There is little conflict or issues when it comes to, where you need to be and how fast you need to be there. Convenience is a massive impact of why this is ranked number one. And on top of that, schools. Brighton schools have been ranked top number one in Livingston County for decades. Heartland is starting to compete with that market. And again, all in all, we have phenomenal schools no matter where you go. A lot of that might affect property values. Brighton Township is going to yield a little bit higher of a property value or the premiums to be in a Brighton school district. Number two, Green Oak Township, again, for the very similar reasons to why number one, Brighton Township. Green Oak Township, runs 23 south, and it is south of Brighton Township. Portion of it is going to be Brighton schools, and a portion of it is going to be South Lyon schools. So when it comes to school districts, you have two phenomenal school districts. You have lower taxes than municipalities, and you're still in Livingston County, so you're not getting Washtenaw County taxes or Oakland County taxes. Big desirable factor for that location and that location alone. And then again, convenience. Arguably, they say Brighton Township is very convenient. A lot of places in Livingston County are very convenient. North, east, west, south. But Green Oak Township and Rickett Road, that is always talked about as being the most convenient place to live in all of Livingston County. Number three, Hamburg Township, for a lot of the similar reasons. It is ranked a B+ for public schools. And just to note that Brighton Township was an A for schools and Green Oak Township was an A, because predominantly Brighton Township is going to be split into Heartland, Brighton. Green Oak is going to be Brighton and South Lyon. So number three, Hamburg Township, public schools are rated B+. In some places in Hamburg Township, it's kind of like the holy grail of Livingston County. Hamburg Township taxes, Brighton school districts. A lot of those places you might have amenities like sewer, but well water. So you have all of the peace of mind and convenience of a sewer system. And then you have the free water of a well. I'm a product of Pinckney schools, so I don't necessarily think that it is a massive negative of why they're calling it a B+, but into the analytics and the algorithm of how they rank schools across the state, that's why it's most likely getting that B+. There is a larger population in Hamburg Township, a little more densely populated versus the Green Oak. You might see a little more rural. Brighton, you might see a little more rural, spacing between homes. Hamburg Township, you're gonna see a lot of saturation, not in a bad way. Number 4, Heartland Township. Overall niche grade was a B+, and I'm assuming it's based on location. Sometimes Heartland Township can kind of take you out of that cross-section corridor, 96 to 23. And a lot of these top 3 rankings, that's where they're close to, that 96-23 corridor. It was ranked A for public schools, not a surprise there. Heartland, in some recent studies and polls, was ranking higher than Brighton School District. So that's that give and take a little bit. You're losing that convenience of location. Outside of if you're traveling on M59, that is the crossroads of that community. M59 straight to Howell, or M59 straight to Pontiac, or those northern Oakland County communities. And it's convenient in that aspect. What are you sacrificing in on is maybe proximity to downtown communities. You still have your big box stores, your Meijers, your Targets, and things like that, or an abundance of that on M59, but there's really no small downtown area. There is a downtown or a main street, but it's not a Brighton and it's not a Howell.
What's nearest town?
So they might be getting ranked on that B+ in their overall niche score when it comes to the proximity to some of those focal points of the community. Not a big thing, not a big deal. Again, a B+ is a phenomenal score in my opinion, but they might be just lacking in some of that capacity. Number 5, Genoa Township, smack dab right in between Brighton and Howell. Genoa Township is always a topic of conversation. Again, you're missing both of those tax brackets, or from a municipality standpoint, downtown Howell, downtown Brighton, with all of the conveniences from being very conveniently located in between both of those communities. From a public school ranking, it is a B+. And I think that comes down to a Howell versus Brighton. Obviously, the more desirable school district location is going to be Brighton school districts. That doesn't mean Howell is inferior. Well, I guess that's implying that, but that does not mean that Howell is drastically inferior. There is always room for improvement in any school districts. Brighton, no different. They're always progressing, but they seem to be on that forefront of innovation with athletics, academics, but that does not mean that Howell is not kind of on that forefront of a Livingston County progressive standpoint. Number 6, Osceola Township. Osceola Township is just north of Genoa. Great location in terms of convenience. It is on that cusp of M59, Latson Road, M59, and then east-west north. So you're getting a little more rural. Population is reducing. Overall niche score is a B+, and public schools are a B+. Don't quote me, but I believe predominantly most of Osceola Township is going to be Howell school districts. That's again where that B+ is coming from, where you would probably see a more significant B, or I don't think anything is ranked C. Phenomenal tax brackets, obviously a little more rural, more bang for your buck. You're going to get more property. With that being said, you're going to see more predominant agriculture, and you're going to see a lot more dirt roads. Not a huge consideration, I think, for people in Livingston County, but if you're coming from, the major East Coast, East and West Coast, or more developed counties, Oakland, Wayne, Washtenaw, dirt roads might not be the most desirable thing for you. Number 7, Tyrone Township. Tyrone Township is just north of Heartland Township. It is on that cusp of Fenton and Heartland School District. So overall, niche score B+. Overall public school ranking is a B+. What are you getting in Tyrone Township? Very similar to Osceola Township, lower taxes, small town feel, very rural, very safe, more bang for your buck, properties, hills, wooded, and then again, beat a dead horse, but your proximity to downtown Fenton, Holly, getting over to 75, zipping down into Oakland County, you're starting to see a lot more convenience there. Number 8, Marion Township. Marion Township is just west of Genoa, north of Putnam, which is Pinckney, or predominantly Pinckney, on that D19 corridor. What are you finding in D19 or Marion Township? A lot of developments. With that being said, a lot of agriculture, some dirt roads, but great tight-knit communities, great proximity to downtown Pinckney, downtown Howell. the conveniences of lower taxes. It is giving them a overall niche grade of a B. This is the lowest. We are going down this scale, so it makes sense, but it is a B, probably based on location. You know, depending on where you are in Marion Township, you might be 12 to 15 minutes to 96, and then you're zipping east or west and whatever way you need to go or where you need to get to. We're there yet. They are ranking it lower compared to these other things, but again, that's probably based on where your predominant Livingston County resident goes consistently, wants to be consistently, and then where are people driving to? They're either going downtown Howell or downtown Brighton, but predominantly for restaurants, they're gonna be downtown Brighton. You're gonna be driving a little bit further. Drive, 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 drive. But it really comes down to the lifestyle and amenities that you want your family to be close to. Last but not least, Putnam Township, predominantly Pinckney school districts, actually probably only Pinckney school districts, unless you get pretty further west, and you might be like a Stockbridge type situation right there. Overall, it was ranked a B in terms of a niche score, and then a B minus in terms of school district. I am a product of Pinckney schools. I have nothing bad to say about Pinckney schools. I think it is a phenomenal school district. I think it's very, very up and coming. I think that Putnam Township is starting to realize to compete with growth in 2024 here in Livingston County, changes need to be made.
He smells the change is coming. You can smell it.
Not many people sell in Pinckney or Putnam Township, Hamburg Township, because they love where they live. They like the taxes. And two, if they sold that house, what would those taxes look like at the next opportunity, whether it be a condo or a smaller home? Thanks for tuning in to 2024, according to niche.com, best townships to live here in Livingston County. Chris Lotz with the Lotz Real Estate Group. Subscribe for all videos moving forward, and drop a comment for where you live, what township you live in, or what township you want to hear more about. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.